Good morning. Going into a webinar. Started 6 minutes late. Again, just some setting up stuff. Still finding my way with the new camera and some lighting stuff. Always, I don't want to see too much of the background. Restream doesn't really do a good job on background, virtual backgrounds. Just the blur is not that much. I could go into NC WebDev virtual background, see how that works. But is that better? I don't know. I can then zoom out more, I guess. Ooh, zoom out, zoom in. No, I'll keep myself bigger, and I will keep myself bigger, and I gotta set up my tracking. Happening now. All right. Virtual background. Go back to blur, whatever this one is. Mm. A brick wall. No, thank you. I'll go into the blur. That's fine. So, I see myself here. I don't see myself here. I'm frozen. Maybe just go off the Wi-Fi here as well, I guess. So anyway, so let's start. Let's begin. 2 minutes of setting up and stuff is more than plenty. And let's start discussing endless leads. The number one thing that everybody talks about in business and in on LinkedIn, and it's something I get bombarded with every day. It's like, oh, we could generate pre-qualified leads for you. Okay, great. What does that mean, really? Well, that means people who are ready to buy from you. Like, what? How are you gonna do that? How are you gonna really? So no, we'll set up meetings, appointment setters, and stuff like that. Get bombarded every day with this, and I'm like, you know what? Nah, thank you. Not for me. Let me change my light here as well. But let's see if I can find the one that I was looking for. That's the one. That one's a little better. Blue. So yeah, I mean, these people will offer you lead gens, and you pay hundreds of dollars and you're essentially buying either two things. You're buying generated leads from your profile, which are not that great, or you're just buying literally just scraped leads and leads list, which is something that me and Dayan talked about right there. One of the first comments was, "This is really bad." It's just like buying lists in 2024. You might as well be living in a stone age. I mean, if you buy email, we got, and there. If you look on Google, there's plenty of that out there. It's like, oh, buy a leads list of 100,000. I think I saw one that had like a million email addresses and stuff. The problem with that is most of those have been raped over like 10 or 15 times already. So you're just dealing with leads and emails that have been bombarded because you really think he will sell you an email list of million emails for like $100 or $200? I mean, we tried a couple of years ago. We tried to literally build email lists, and it's not that easy. So once you have that list and once you scrape all those emails, it's probably going to take you a good amount of time. Is you're going to get destroyed on the fact that you well, the guy wants to sell it multiple times because he's not just going to do it for $400. So he'll sell somebody 500, somebody for 100, but he'll make a couple of $1,000s on it. But because he will sell to 10 people, a real list of live emails, or 100 people even, and people will buy, and those who will buy, those who will get scammed, is those people will are contacting people that have been basically raped by spam and other emails. So number one thing is your email may not even get through their spam filter because they don't know you. And number two is they may not exist. That email box may not be, by the time he gets to you, that email list, probably 20, 30% of the emails don't even exist anymore. The boxes have been canceled. So what happens is avoid buying lists because low quality, not dependable, and you could get your domain blocked, or even you could get deplatformed from Mailchimp or Echo Mail or HubSpot. I mean, because if you have a high bounce rate, and the high bounce rate is like 4%, 4% and above is high. So if you, let's say if you hit like 10%, and I just said probably 20% of those emails are crap or not existent anymore. So if you hit that 10% mark, you will probably get an email like, yeah, we don't want you to be mailing from our servers anymore, because the email has to be verified, has to be a marketing email, and has to be approved by the recipient. So, the recipient has to say yes, and there also has to be an unsubscribe button in there, which really works. Not that, they hit unsubscribe and next week they get it again. That happens a lot, especially with some of the marketing systems, um, the ones that you use for free or for very cheap price online. They don't have a good way to maintain the database, so they don't know who unsubscribed really. Like, you do know, but then you have to manually do stuff to it, and you could bring it back. It's just too complicated. So don't worry about don't worry about buying emails, and don't even think about it, because that's the wrong way. But this is what I want to talk about today: is why do you need to in 2024, when you have hundreds of platforms? And I did this webinar a couple of years ago even, and now it's probably even worse. Is you have hundreds of social media sites that you can go to, depending on what industry you're looking for, depending on what your product or service is. You can always go to a social platform, and you can just connect with people there, be social. I mean, and each platform is very specific, and you just go there, and you have leads. Everybody who connects with you is a lead. Everybody who comments on your post and stuff is a lead. Again, that's if you're a business. If you're a personal social media, they're still a lead, but they're more a relationship or a personal relationship. But if you're using social media channels for business, everybody who engages with you is a lead. So how do you run out of leads? I mean, I have 3,000 first level connections, for example, on LinkedIn. So that's 3,000 leads. I don't know. Some of them are better quality. Some of them are not my target audience, but still people I can communicate with. And I haven't really figured out YouTube too much, but I know you could use links, but you have to have a verified channel. But I don't generate leads from YouTube, at least not yet. The time will come, but it's not right now. But yeah, I mean, lead generation is so simple, because like all these people tell me, they contact me and they say, oh, well, we could generate leads for you. I'm like, no, I need clients. I don't need leads. Well, these are pre-qualified leads that you don't understand. I want people, if you're going to do something for me, I want people that will buy from me. Because as far as leads, that's that's not a problem. And I'll share in a little while how many leads everybody has, and everybody who's got a LinkedIn profile and has at least a couple of connections. Couple of talking about, LinkedIn starts at 500 is where you start to matter, and 1,000 is where you get a little bit of respect. But everybody's got millions of leads just on LinkedIn alone. That's why I said LinkedIn is the best platform. But you could generate leads through through your website. You could generate leads. You have a form there, and as long as you have people coming in, as long as you have high quality content, which gets me to another topic that I want to touch upon here, at least briefly, because I mean, this is not a content webinar. I don't want to be talking about content, but I do want to show you how not to make content, lead generation contact. This is content. This is I'm going to share this screen here, because this is an example I received today, and I'm like, this is how not to market 101. So-called useless content 101, I guess you could say. I'm going to go into my Gmail. I don't want to say who this is from, and I hope it's not showing. I'm going to hide this as well. And just to read one of these things, and I'll read this over. It's By sharing thought-provoking content, industry insights, and success stories, business can position themselves as authorities in their respective fields, attracting attention and generating interest from potential clients and collaborators. I mean, this whole just one line, it's useless. It's long. This one sentence. It's not one line. It's four lines. But LinkedIn also plays a crucial role in talent acquisition and recruitment. Thank you very much, ChatGPT. And with over 1 billion members worldwide, the platform offers access to a vast pool of qualified candidates across a wide range of industries and skill sets. Through company pages, job postings, and targeted messaging, businesses can effectively reach and engage with top talent, driving recruitment efforts and building high-performing teams. Furthermore, LinkedIn provides valuable resources for professional development and skill enhancement. Well, this paragraph is three sentences, and it starts with over 1 billion worldwide offers, and this is again three-line sentence. Nobody will read this. It's generic. It's something out there, but this is a two-edged sword. Now you produce content, great. Will it generate leads? No, but this is for somebody who's got tens of thousands of followers on LinkedIn, and he just drives the volume, so he doesn't care. But it's not effective, and this is not generating him leads. This is just, yeah, I'm present. I'm going to stop sharing this because I don't want to recover anything else, but or uncover. But this is just garbage. It's long sentences, generic. It's not talking to the clients. It's not talking to potential customers. Nobody's going to read it, and it literally has no value because it doesn't bring anything. It's just ChatGPT generated text, blah blah blah. It was a lot of stuff about let's delve, let's landscape. Now it's and compares Facebook to LinkedIn. Well, LinkedIn entered the digital landscape a little later, but it has a blah blah blah. You're offering people something that they can just create themselves for the most part for free. Just type in something along the lines of, oh yeah, give me what's the difference between LinkedIn and Facebook? What should I use? Whatever. Enter a prompt, something like that, and LinkedIn will. I mean, ChatGPT will spit this out in a few seconds. So, and if you think this brings value and you're trying to generate leads, that's why a couple of days ago I said I don't understand the point of newsletters. Like, who would actually read this? I read this today because I was interested because it's a connection of mine and he has a large group I'm following. But I'm like, let me use this as an example of what literally not to do. I mean, if your business is doing something and you're making money and stuff and you're just filling in the check boxes, check box one, check box two, check box three, you're good. And yes, Friday just said, blah, blah, AI, blah, blah, blah. Shut down after the first 3 seconds. Exactly. Exactly. And so that's not going to generate any leads for you. Leads are through relationships, leads are through quality content, quality. Blanking through, I'm going to just I'm going to switch over into mobile HubSpot. The connection here is not that great, so I'm going to switch connections because I don't want this to be flashing for the next half hour. Sometimes it goes the whole hour, 45 minutes. And we're good to go. We're on a new connection. So, yeah, I mean, the one thing that was missing, the number one principle that was missing from this piece that I showed is you're not talking about the client. You're not talking to him. You're not solving his problem. And I say this all the time. People don't give a damn about you, your product, or your service. What they do care about is the only one thing, and that's what you or your product can do for them. That's how you generate a lead. Is You post content that you inform people of, well, this is what's out there available. You educate them, yes, but tie it to the people. That's how you generate leads. That's how you generate interest. That's how you generate engagement. So, you know, so you could use newsletters, but with so much garbage out there, I'm like, I don't even read the newsletters, and this email just goes to prove my point of why I'm not reading them. I mean, I'll sign up to the newsletter to stay in touch with the contact and stuff, but if you're producing this kind of garbage, literally, there's no point of reading them. And what do you think? Like, am I the only one who doesn't read the newsletters? No, people will react to it this way. So, anyway, enough of how to not to generate leads, but it was a perfect example, and it came in this morning, and I was like, yeah, look, I got to use this. So I did, and yeah, how to generate leads. Well, first is same thing along the lines of this to tie into it is lead magnets. Lead magnets are great. It's either a free demo trial something. I'm working on a LinkedIn course now, and I'm using this. I was trying to see what I have to create, and it was for the LearnDash for by LMS for a WordPress plugin that doesn't. That's an entire course thing, and that's what I'm going to create this into. And when I put these things into it, these when I put like exactly even lead generation is going to be probably one of the chapters there, and most of what I'm saying it will be there available publicly or publicly from something. I don't know. That's I'm just creating the structure. But the point is I don't want to get off on a tangent too far. Is that I looked at it because WordPress is a free platform, and generally it works with a plugin. You can just install the plugin, and you have a free version of it where you can use it to a certain extent, volume, something. This has got restrictions. If you wanted more functions and features, what will happen is you need to pay, and then you get the full versions and stuff. And for the that's a great way to generate leads and potential customers, give them something for free and stuff like that. Now, LearnDash does not have a plugin that's downloadable to the that could be installed within WordPress. It is a WordPress native, I think, even platform, but it does not have the free plugin version. And then I look at their website, and they were like, yes, but we will provide an account on our servers, which I understand for security and for stealing, and they don't want to give up their code and stuff like that. I understand that perfectly. But still, even they provide me a free account to sort of a sandbox to play in their version to see where I'm going to put what and to see how that's structured. So again, that's a lead. That's how you nurture a lead. You give him, you show him, you work with him, you do the webinars and stuff like that, which is something that I'm doing right now. There's nothing else other than lead generation strategy that I'm using, and everybody who signs up is basically you can communicate with them. Anybody who attends, well, even the second level connections or third level, you could send them a message without having to use email and go into Sales Navigator. So, Sales Navigator is good, but you really have to go to volumes. I'm going to be testing that later as well. But yeah, so you always want to give something to the people for free for a lead magnet. That's the way you're going to go. And if you're trying to sell a software, a demo and stuff is always good. Despite of not having a free version, you can have, like I said, they will you connect with something specific like the courses, and then they will provide you a demo always because they want customers, but they will of course have full control of it, which is the difference there. But that's one way to generate leads, a lead magnet. And as far as books, ebooks, again, any how-to and stuff and generic, it will not work because there's so much stuff out there. And to use ChatGPT words, the digital landscape has changed quite a bit because everybody generates lead magnets. When everybody said, "Oh yeah, you know what? Let's generate lead magnets. This is ChatGPT is a great tool." Well, now the internet is flooded with that. And funny enough, and this is going to be an interesting part. It's another topic altogether as well. Is what's going to happen later down the line when, because even early on they showed that if ChatGPT is trained, or these large language models in general, if they're trained on other large language model generated text, there is an error in there that happens, and it's critical error or something, and It basically breaks down something and makes mumbo jumbo. But as more ChatGPT scrapes the internet and other models, and the more people put more just straight LLM content, copy paste content, it's going to be interesting to watch the degradation of the entire system. But right now, you're competing with all this stuff. So if you're just going to do uh, some kind of a product, some kind of a, like I'm doing the LinkedIn course, and I use Gemini. I take it module by module, and what I will do is, and yeah, it will give me these ideas, and it will give me the structure of the course. So I have topics and I have headlines, but then I have to fill in all the other personal experiences. So it's not like just copy paste general and just throw it out there. You could use these things to get the structure, to get quality, to get some kind of a form. This makes creation a lot easier, but you still have to type the stuff out. You still have to have some experience. And, I recommend for everybody who wants to create lead magnets and any kind of blog post, which ties into that as well, take some writing courses. I mean, I write for the last 20 something years. I did tens of thousands of pages of translations probably, and changing text from one language to the other, which is always interesting to keep the same meaning. Sometimes it's some translation whoopsies are really funny. But anyway, take a if you want to generate leads through blog posts or lead magnets, take a creative writing skills course, or just learn it online. I mean, just use the Flash Kincaid score, and I'll show you this one here because there was another one that I prepared, and I copied and pasted the text into the text I just read. I copied the whole thing into a calculator, and I'm thinking which one this is here. I'm going to show you. I'm going to share this here as well. I always have a lot of stuff opened, but it's the one next to it. So I don't know if it goes. Oh, here. Share this screen as well. And this is the text that I copied into this, and this is the result. The text has 3,500 characters. This is something. This is something that you go through, and you copy and paste the text into calculators. This is text readability calculator. You go in here, and it's got lexical density 62. Average number of characters per word 6, syllables per word 2. It's great. It's a great composition. Average number of words per sentence, they say 25, but I would say it's more like 20 and even shorter. You don't want to keep your sentences long. But here is the most important: is the flesh reading ease. 11.92, which is pretty high up there. So this does not generate the score per se. This is the grade level. So, this is for high school students, and you really want to be writing text for, much lower grades. And this doesn't give me, I didn't notice it doesn't give me the score, because there's also a score that it gives you. It's like a 65, 70 and stuff. And this one does this. So this is for 12th graders. So basically high school graduates or 12th grade. But that's too far. And sometimes, like here you see Coleman Liu Index 18, 18, 19, 19. It's just, yeah, it sounds very educational, but does it really bring value to everybody the generic public? I hate to say ordinary people because I just don't like that phrase, and I will not use it, and I always find ways around it because it's a very misleading term, and I think everybody's overused, and I don't like it. So anyway, but this is the score. I mean, you could put it into any one of them. You could put it into Yoast. You could put it into we're using something else on our servers. I gotta look at that. I forget which one it is, which one we're using, but I may not have access to it here. Oh yeah, that's right. I got out of it. Anyway, so no, but any kind of a SEO optimization tool will sort of lead you along the way. However, it still comes down to you gotta learn how to write, and that way you will generate great leads. And if you don't know how to write, if you don't want to take the course, well, you gotta hire somebody like me. and or any other writer, but just make sure. And there's an easy way to check whether the writer really knows how to write too. Just take, hire somebody, pay them money, give them, have them send the text over, and then use a calculator like this to see, hey, is it really good quality? Is it 12th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, or is it the C5 70? The Yoast uses this scale up to 100. So basically, you need to get about 70 is a good score for good SEO. Where this on if that text was on website, which probably maybe he's using as well because they just copy paste it into all sorts of places, it will not really generate leads in a great fashion. I mean, that's just the way it is. But that's again another way to generate leads, but you got to get good at it. Competition is big, so make sure you get good at what you're doing, and then you know as far as the competition, large numbers, you need to separate yourself out. The best way to separate yourself out was with quality, quality and brand. And now, and I'll get into now. Let's get back to into our regular programming, and we'll do LinkedIn because that's the one that I want to show you. And this is my LinkedIn. I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna share my feed here, and we're going to share, and we'll go into LinkedIn, and so basically, well, I could click on this webinar, although I don't want to. Well, I'm not going to go to the webinar, but I will go to my network. This is what I want to show you today. Is you're talking about I don't have any leads. Well, keep building LinkedIn, talk to people, and this is what you're going to get. My network, connections, search with filters, and I have about 2,300 connections. Okay, so you say, all right, 2,300. It's not a lot. It becomes interesting when you get 10,000 and above. Let's say 100,000, because a lot of these people tell you, oh, we'll send you 100,000 email list. Okay, you want 100,000? Let's go into second level, and you could lose the first level and just use second level connections. Second level connections on LinkedIn are people that are connected to somebody you know. So you already have something in common because you're connected to somebody. Yes, this is the way once upon a time Facebook scammers were building their networks, but LinkedIn works a little bit differently. But yeah, that you click, you like, and then the other friends will become friends with them as well. So because they gain trust through that relationship, and then they were scamming and stuff and whatever. So I'm not the greatest fan of this, but if done right, it's a great tool. And you have literally, I mean, I have 2.3 million leads that I can work with, that I can approach, that I could talk, that I can start building relationships with. I mean, you want to talk about leads list? I mean, how much will you pay? And these are literally alive people. How active they are on LinkedIn, that's a different story. How to approach them, how to get to them, that's a different topic altogether. And but you could go into you could select. All right, I want self-employed. How many self-employed second level connections do I have? 3,600, and I can just talk to 3,600 people that have self-employed status on LinkedIn. Uh, I could select any company I want. I don't want to be selecting companies though. What I want is, let's say, a location. Okay, so I'm in Bloomington, Illinois right now. So how many connections do I have in Bloomington? 411 people I could actually just reach out to and say, yeah, let's meet. I don't have to do Zoom with these people because I'm right here. Same thing in Peoria. Same thing. Let's say even Chicago. How many people? I know I have a few there too now, but Okay, but you can show multiple results. I'm just going city by city. Okay, in Chicago, I have 19,000 results. All I got to do is go to Chicago, call up 19,000 people, and I can meet with them. But yeah, this is yeah. I recently, Freya saying in the comments that she recently, oh, I put it up in the stream. But anyway, so this is I'm gonna stop the sharing here, and I'm not gonna replace. I'm gonna stop it anyway. This was I put the chat up here, and here we go. Put this as an overlay, and yeah, I recently removed a lot of connections that only connected with me to get access to my connections. Yeah, that's basically how it works. And it was the old scam on Facebook, and a lot of people got hit with the scam, and a lot of people got scammed. So on Facebook, I definitely don't connect with people that I just connected with. So that connected with anybody else that just they're asking me, oh, let's get a connection. So I stopped doing that. But what happens is on LinkedIn, it's a little bit different. But like Freya's saying, it's yeah, some people will connect just to connect, and um, just to connect with others and to get to your connections. But the true value again lies in building the relationships. And if you're selling something for $50, you don't care much. It could be very superficial connections. But if you're selling websites like I am for $5,000 and more, basically solutions, not just websites, because just seen somebody selling websites for Wix and Squarespace and stuff for like $50 or $100, and I'm like, because that's just what it is. I mean, it's just give you a template. You have to work the whole thing yourself anyway, and there's no SEO and there's nothing in it. But anyway, you could sell $100 things. People will easily part with $100 uh, price or $100 bill, let's say. Although I know it's through a card, so you're good, but you probably sell some stuff. But if you're looking to get quality, you want to build those relationships. But anyway, if you're looking to get a leads list and build relationships, this is 2 million people you can reach out to. Some of them will not be high quality. Some of them will not be in the right city. Some of them will not be in the right industry. But you could definitely reach into tap into this, and it's a resource where you could start building those relationships. So yeah, I mean, endless leads list, 2.3 million. Same way you could do. I'm now some more selective with the connection requests I accept. Exactly. Before I accept the connection, I look how often they post, how many. Of course, you have to have decent amount. I mean, close to 1,000 is sort of my limit. I mean, I will not connect with somebody who's got 16 connections. Why? Because I'm prejudiced, whatever you want to call it. I mean, I'm not going to use all these words here, but no, because there's no history. There's no value to my network because I don't know who these people are. They could be bots. So yeah, you can accept a lot of these connection requests from people with 16, 50, 100 followers. Problem's going to be that LinkedIn does a purge about twice a year and you'll lose them anyway. So what's the point? It's just building numbers. Same by the same token, it depends on the strategy you use. Some people, have over 100,000 connections on LinkedIn. It's great. They're selling them a couple of $100 worth of courses. Good, great. But how quality are those connections? And again, with my products, higher ticket products, I'm more into building the relationships. And so I'm happy with the 3,000 because I try to have 1 to 2 meetings every single day. And then you also have to. I mean, networking is great, but you also have to have time to work and do some productive stuff. Like my son just learned because he got his first client, and I told him, I says, hey, listen, somebody's got to do the work after you get that sale. So like, and now he's like, yeah, there's a lot of work, there's a lot of time. I'm like, yeah, great, you got the job, you're gonna do it, you're gonna get paid for it, but now somebody also has to do the work. So you can't just be generating leads and not following up. It is one of my bigger problems now, and this is my next segment that I'm going to get into is I could do marketing. I could have leads. That's why I always hate when people are like, oh, we could generate leads for them. Like, I got millions of leads. I get as many leads. I got more leads than I can handle. And literally, I got more leads than I can handle because, again, I want to build the closer connections. And so I go now off of LinkedIn a lot, and getting to Zoom, I get into Zoom. I get into Zoom calls where I meet with people a lot, and then my son is leaving me a message here. Yep, yep. That's the other part of it. Is yeah, you accept it from these 50 to 100, and like he says, I have a lot of experience with these accounts. About 60 to 70% turn out to be aggressive sellers who spam you with messages or just scammers. Yeah, I was just looking at his account, and one guy is like sending him messages. Oh, yes, I see you're very busy. Anyway, so I'll talk to you next time. And the next time he sends a message again, and it's like, oh, yeah, well, it's been a while since we talked, so I want to just reconnect. And oh, yeah, and the next one. And there's like 10 of them, and he's having a conversation with himself. And your inbox is full of a self conversation. I was like, maybe you should write back to him and tell him you're going to sell something to him. And I gotta, I don't know if this is going to be visible, but I received a message today on I don't know if this is readable, but it's the same thing happens in, I guess not. Uh, oh, because I don't have the autofocus. Anyway, I received a text message today. Hi there, is this Glober's number? That's why I don't answer phones. Like, if you want to get in touch with me, inbox or email. I mean, no way that I need somebody just connecting with me. I could turn on the auto zoom. Should I? Well, no. What I will do is I will share the screenshot in the comments afterwards. Hi, yes, it is. I replied this morning. Yesterday morning, I received the message. Today, I said, hi, yes, it is. And then the next message, a text message, and it's basically how it goes is, hi, Globemer, this is Ava with DMS. I ran a report on your website and noticed a couple of setbacks that are keeping it from appearing higher on Google search. Would you be interested in a free analysis? And I replied, of course not. So she replied, great, we'll be reaching out. Like, great. I mean, reach out. I don't know. What can I say? Oh, yeah. That's okay. Yeah. My son just commented a follow up to that, and he says that he didn't, you see it on the screen. I mean, they went right past me. I didn't get pitch slapped. They just went to my connections and pitch slapped them. Yeah, that's because I helped my son build his. No, it was Freya that replied to that. Okay, yeah, because Freya's building. He's got an active group, and yeah, my son has a little different experience. But either way, I just read another one. So yeah, this is not how you communicate, and this is not how you generate leads and stuff. And because that number that I was just mentioning, they called me yesterday, and I don't have the phone. I don't answer the phone unless I know who you are. Unless we have a set up meeting, just I check the numbers that call me periodically, and it's mostly like, oh, robocall, or somebody that just wants to annoy me or something. I'm like, no, I'm good. So yeah, that's definitely not a way to generate leads. And yeah, so we got the LinkedIn. You got plenty of people there. Do these live events because this way a lot of people get to know who I am, where I am. They see me, so they know I'm alive. And LinkedIn will send them notification that I went live. So that means they know about my whereabouts, and that's all you want. It's basically a touch point. I mean, every sale happens between like sixth and seventh touch point. So you do a live webinar, and then people will get noticed. Then you could follow up with them. You could talk to them. You could set up meetings with them. So this is so when going through the LinkedIn, the next one would be the webinars that you could do, and you can also join groups. But on LinkedIn, I've noticed that a lot of the groups are just Spamalot groups, and yeah, you get into the group, you could connect with everybody there, you could talk to them, but again, generally these are the aggressive salespeople that we're talking about. So, uh, but there is potential for leads as well, and uh, it's it's not a reliable way. So the next step that I've taken is to go into networking groups, and I like them. I've been going to offline ones, but they're not that great for my services. They're great for insurance. They're great for if you're local insurance. I mean, it's all these. I was part of. I was visiting some BNI groups, and of course, the first seats that are taken is a financial planner and an insurance person and a real estate person. Those are the three, and they work offline because that's fine. Those are the types of services that they will get. But digital marketing, always about 80-90% of the people there didn't even know what the hell I was doing, what digital marketing is. And so I'm like, I could generate leads for you. But the fact is that despite me being able to generate leads, they would not be able to follow up with them. So they would, because you got to follow up with the leads. And like I said, this is something I'm going to have to work on now. And that's why I started talking to HubSpot again, because HubSpot is, a CRM system where we can tie into stuff, and uh, I can connect it to my Zoom. And we were talking about LinkedIn. That's the one negative about LinkedIn is LinkedIn doesn't have LinkedIn does not give you the access to a lot of the data on the people unless you buy the Sales Navigator, which I'm not. I'm more about making the connections rather than doing these large volume type database stuff and whatever. But because of the fact that I want to use the CRM and when I start using email sequences to talk to people and to stay in touch with people who attend these, who watch these webinars, who've seen them and stuff. And so I want to just kind of like reach back with them and touch bases and create touch points. So I was talking to, HubSpot salesperson the other day, 2 days ago, Wednesday, and he's going to give me a package, and we're going to design a way where they're not able to collect data from LinkedIn, but from Zoom. So I may start doing these Thursday or Friday webinars. I will start doing those on Zoom because I can follow up with the people better. I mean, I've seen that a lot, and the disadvantage is LinkedIn does not send the people the notifications, but I do my Saturday night free streams, freestyle improv streams. So that's one thing that generates definitely leads and connections, because you stay on for a while and you talk about anything and everything on an off day. It's kind of like I think it's kind of interesting. I like it. I don't know, people do too, hopefully. But the LinkedIn stuff, people, even on the chat, for example, I'm in Restream right now, and I can't really reply into the LinkedIn in the chat. I would have to write. I could, I could type, like if I type a message here, I could go into YouTube, but I cannot go. I will reply to YouTube comment, but I cannot reply to it's read only. I mean, I could show you, but that's boring. So, yeah, I'll start probably doing the Fridays on Zoom for a while to get people signed up. They show up. I don't know how many will, because I'm still just getting this sort of warmed up. I will have some guests and whatever else, but I'll have to figure out Zoom. But Zoom can then follow up with the HubSpot can then automatically follow up with the Zoom people. So for me, because I don't have enough time in a day to just follow up with everybody properly, I'll let Zoom take care of that through some kind of a personalized sequence, more human than generic crap. But yeah, so I'll be working on that. I'll set that up, and once I have that set up, I'll probably do a webinar on it as well, because it's just worth it. So let me get a drink of water. But that's going to be another one that I was talking about. And I mean, I have all these ideas and all these tools, but again, not enough time in the day to be everywhere. So my main focus is LinkedIn. Like I said, to connect, to make the good quality connections, I go to networking events. I have one, the Good Business Karma event that I always promoted because I think I like it the best. It's on Monday mornings. It's a great way to start the week. It's very relaxed. Nobody sales pitches you there. People talk about what they do. People talk about all sorts of stuff, what happened during the week. And you don't have to have attendance. So if you don't show up for 2 weeks, it's okay. It's okay. We're all busy. So that's why it's one thing I hate about BNI is because you can't. I mean, and for me, especially when I travel a lot, is you can't travel with BNI. You have to be there every Thursday. Let's say Thursday, 9 a.m. You have to be there. Well, what if I go away for a vacation for 2 weeks? Yes, you can go for vacation, but only for 2 days. Only you can only miss 2 days in 6 months. So watch out for that. I'm like, well, and I'm paying for this. I was like, no. So I kind of don't like that structure. And you could take it online, which would be easier. You could do sort of mixed. I mean, even they're bending to the modern way. But generally today, years ago, you used to go to a bar, a social event, and you used to be able to meet as many people as you wanted. But today, it's more about just meeting online. I mean, that's how you make the first contact. The first contact today in 2024 is always made online. I would say always 95% of the time. But you make it online, then you take it offline, or you're at least off the platform to a Zoom call, which is a one-on-one, which is kind of like, it's not perfect, but it's getting you closer to communicate with people on a human level rather than just impersonal emails and stuff like that. And yeah, then you use a CRM to sort of manage it, follow up, and talk to people and stay in touch, and that's how you get to a sale at the end of the day. And that's the process I'm going to be starting now. But other than that, it's you know leads. Oh yeah, the other two I was talking about is you could use Meetup and Eventbrite because I said I have plenty of ideas. You could do when you do the Zoom events, even on LinkedIn. You could promote it on LinkedIn. I got to see how to stream the Zoom. I think because Restream can be directed to that, then I can just stream the Zoom into YouTube as well. But this way, I go from Restream straight to LinkedIn and straight to YouTube. In case of Zoom, I guess I'll be on Zoom and it could go to Restream, and because Zoom can't go directly into Zoom can go directly into LinkedIn because LinkedIn only has a limited amount of people that people applications that will allow you to enter uh, to stream to Zoom to LinkedIn. So we'll see how that works out. But that's another lead generation strategy. Definitely live events. Eventbrite is great for that, for example, because Eventbrite, it offers you to create an event on their site, and then people can buy tickets where you could work with it. So like if it's something paid, they will pay you, and then Eventbrite collects the money because Eventbrite will do the sales and they'll send you the money. But you could do free events and you don't have to pay Eventbrite any monthly subscription fee. But still, people will find you because you have that event on the calendar, and people go to Eventbrite and people look through it and say, "Oh, what's an event and stuff? What's the next event?" And then if they sign up through Eventbrite, HubSpot can get that data as well and put it automatically into the system, and you could set it up where HubSpot, anybody who signs up, HubSpot, you could plug those people into the email sequence. So that's a way to collect leads. And same thing is Meetup, for example. That's another one, and that's very similar to. It's a little different than Eventbrite because Eventbrite is just for selling tickets to events or just to inform people of events. And on Meetup is just you have to be a little bit more active. You have to do some kind of activity, and you have a group. That has if you want to be a group organizer, then you have to pay some money and stuff. But again, it's a great way to get people together, and it's leads, it's leads. So if anybody has problems creating something for lead generation of real people, let's talk about it. Let's help you set it up. I mean, if you want millions of leads, no problem. It's going to take a little bit more time to go through all of them and to verify and to create the right ones. But hey, People, I don't understand how people are like, well, I need more leads. I need more leads. I'm like, just reach out and touch somebody, as Depeche Mode would say. But yeah, so endless leads, endless leads. Leads are all over the place. Whether it's going to the networking events, whether it's this, that, but like again, you only have a certain amount of time to follow up with the leads. So you want to talk to the people. Basically, for me, my goal, because that's the way I build my networks, and that's why I'm not chasing now the 10,000 to be there, to 10,000 connections or followers on LinkedIn to be there tomorrow, is because I'm interested in the one-on-ones, the Zoom calls. So I'm doing all these events to get to Zoom, to get to one-on-ones, not to make a sale. So like I'm not, there is no sales link. I'll buy my stuff right here anywhere in the comments or whatever. But yeah, you basically, my goal is to get to a one-on-one meeting and start building those relationships. So it's either through the 2 million people on LinkedIn I can meet with, which will take me a while, or I can do the webinars and Zoom events and whatever else, and then whoever signs up and gets there, I'll create a sequence that will lead to a one-on-one meeting, especially if they're interested in any of the services I have to offer, like today, lead generation. If you want to talk about how to set that up with the sequences and stuff, we could talk about that. And if somebody's interested, they'll follow up and they'll schedule a time to meet. That's already a warm lead. And you know, we all want to recover most of our time, and this is a great way. So yeah, I'll use that, and that's the point. Also, I will be starting to use. Still have that 1 month free, so I'll once I set up my HubSpot, I will use the Sales Navigator to send out some of these messages and stuff. So we'll see. So there's going to be a lot of testing that I'm going to be doing and following up, and we will be in touch. I will send more info on my progress and show you some examples of how to keep generating leads and how to get to the one-on-ones that you need, the ones that where the sales happen. I mean, meeting people is great, building a great group and having close relationships, all that is great, but it's all about the sale. And if you're doing a 12-hour a day marketing thing and there's no sales, you're going to run out of breath soon. So you know, endless leads. Leads are all over the place. Reach out, talk to people, talk to me. You need to, and I think that's it. I think I would just be going around in circles right now. So, and lead magnets I mentioned already as well. So I think that's pretty much covered it all. So you have a great weekend. I'm gonna post that screenshot in the comments a little bit. So just got to transfer it to my other phones and stuff because I have it on a separate phone. Anyway, so thank you for your attention. You have a great day. Enjoy the weekend. I'll see you on Saturday night in my improv. End the stream now.